Good morning, everyone. We'll begin with the yellow prayer book on page 1. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Next page.
Ram jam jam so shen ge jor pe so ma lu lo ye lan de mer la na ten yen do kun to je zong de so da le long ju do ba jin che da Om Kam Chen Chen Tar Zong Wen O Bo Chur Se Kung Mer Je Don Zhen Xue War Sen Je Lo Nge Dan Nge Men Ta Le Yong Zhe Xian Chen ga ne san zhou wong da qie jie men qian len de ne lo men zhan qiu per wei san jie to ba sen jie lo.
An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and attributes of arising, cessation and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial, the supreme mandala is the natural state. When I offer it, bless me to attain the state of Buddhahood.
Om Guru Deva Thai Kena Rena Mandal Pati Sofa.
Page 11.
Sentient Sambata Lo Yeshe Lama Che Chon Tu Mon Te Ba Ye Chu Jen Ko Lo Gur De So.
Please turn the wheel of Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Tu som san je tham che je ngo re dan jin gur kun je chab da ka den zong ba me ba din jin sa la ma ram bo che yam je be mo dor me jang zhe ma me ba la ngo ra da de de gu be san ze yab zen ye wan je wo zen je la ban ze do so ma san je me ki ra pa ro ze Ma ju manga nam gang ho ni so zo ran re yi ki ju yor wa du zong jang yong la zang za lo tang gui du ji ke je re zang zhong yin je me do de je bong jang ba se je lam bo da be je be ge ke je je be yao la ge zang zang Dorjin Janjin de Lona Rodan, Marmada Dunjin Baromba, Jada Jolang, Maria Huso, Koju Lama Nam Lazorwandi, Zamlang Jinjin Jindajar, Manandop Jibuduso, Lumi Zedin Lamdar Zen, Bajik Damba Sanji Kyolande, Yumjin Kandri Drubcho, Namdar Zomje Gozene, Dujo Bona Banzem, Magic Labje Drume Kyolande, Bardin Save Lama Rinpoche, Dagun Barbe Mediyo, Garden Jimbe Gone Jizonla, Guson Doje Nguro Zardo. Karzang Shubana Yen, the Tomar Sanjum Chöd, Sim Jibagone, Sembarisho.
So just as we started off with each session yesterday, taking a moment to generate the mind of awakening for wishing for the welfare and benefit and awakening of all sentient beings. Please generate bodhicitta as you listen to the Dharma teachings.
Da Juganani Kazang Dorje Dawo Tengen Zenje, Dawe Ta Jebatang, Juma Dawo Tengen Zenje, Tini Lubjin Zeya Tenzogo Kone, Somba Nalo ne, that Terang Juma Dawo Tengen Zenje, Lubjin Zeya de la Kanji Kone, Kazang Kaye Song Sembare, that Adong Yang Te Sejindo.
So yesterday we went through the regarding the different categories of meditative absorption. We covered the Vajra-like meditative absorption and the illusion-like meditative absorption, and we sort of went more extensively through the practices of offering the body and generosity, particularly in the context of the white feast. And this falls into the category of the illusion-like meditative absorption. And so we still have some to cover. And just as a translator's note, what Lama Yeshe has been reading from is Lamchen Gyalpo Rinpoche's Manual of Instructions entitled Opening the Gateway to Total Liberation, from the heart essence of the whispered lineage of the profound meaning of Chöd. And this text is only in Tibetan. It hasn't been translated into English. It's about 60 pages in Tibetan and very rich. So he's been giving a kind of a jumping a little bit through the different parts, because it's just impossible to cover all of it in such a short period of time.
Pajik Tamba Sanje la Tene Kanji Seya Deyang, Tene Namshi de Tambu Tuka Lampo, Tene Lun Chujin Tambu Tuka ne Yang, Kadrum Mantrene, Tene Pumbo Siktop Tene Sene, Luchi Jimba Seya Dang, Yang Tamba Sanje Sondip Seya, Tene Majik Labdron la Yang Tiga Nanjinda, Chujin Seya, Majik Labdron la Tene Poa Dang, Chujin Seya. And so in
the White Feast, there's also the method of transference of consciousness, where one's consciousness is transferred into, is transferred or exits the body and then transforms into Padampa Sanje, and from Padampa Sanje's heart, then various dakinis emanate and cut up the body and offer it as a feast. And this involves supplication, heartfelt supplication. And then we also have the method of transferring the consciousness and arising in the form of Machik Labdran. But the focus for both of these is like there's a very beautiful supplication in which one can receive the very profound blessings.
Tene manji la rani ke namhi te pamu tukar temne yang danji najin tene seneta o shata te tene pe jidun ke ta tene ke pena tamze duze tawa tene kang suk nyong na yang nyong mo bala so ba xie ne sang ju ke sem ju la je to ba ke tene ke ne ba dan tem ba se ne yang chu ban bo ya man ji le tene dos.
Actually, I'm sorry. I think I just got confused. So actually, what he was saying is that I think towards the close of the White Feast, then the consciousness is gathered back and dissolves into the heart of Padamba Sanjay, or the heart of Machik Labdran. And then we have from the Red Feast, then there is the emanating of the dakinis again, and the flesh and blood of the body are, and all of the bones and appendages and so forth are arranged as an offering for the red feast as such, and this is the method for cutting through the delusion that obscures intrinsic awareness and fully liberating the obscurations of afflictive emotions.
Tene ngarang so ke phungbo name ji phungbo nda jer roa yong dang gul phama tene yangu kaden jin je zaw lama dang tene chijo la so ba tham ji ke loi dong ngo wa yin samba si ne o tene si tene kona ba ke yang tene chuban borsa ke yang ji ne tene tar shangkong da lenja sang namin tham ji jun chi o da tene chong song samba 그 돈이 되니 랑거 르인데 짐바 땅 세네 되니 심데 양 이기미 짜저던데 돈이 그 돈을 요야 된데 인도스.
So Pungpo de dron de yangchar sungro.
나란소 남맹지 풍보로와. 남맹 풍보인데 저런 로아 용당 굿 진침파마 양구 가진진지 잡을 라마당 치료 탐지 그 루이동고 대남지 그 루이동고 뭐네 되니 되니 루이동고네 되니 모사기 예네 공나바 참 되니 나란소 그 향공다 렌자상 남인 윤체 되니 지그 돌이 야네 되니 다 루이드네 짐바당 심바레 되니 양동이 그 돌아 요고 사리스.
And so the offering itself is very involved, and it is again offered to the four classes of guests, to the exalted objects of refuge, to one's kind root and lineage gurus, and to the parents, one's father and mother of this life, together with all our fathers and mothers as all sentient beings. And so it is dedicated completely relinquishing the mind of self-grasping. And as they partake of it, then we can think that all of the obscurations and karmic have been purified and all karmic debts have been repaid.
다 간지당 만지데라 소발라 망망보도 근데 그 지세당 망망보 된도 다 된소 야네 당가바데 되니 초런 동로 초래를 동로 노스 되니 초래텔라 되니 세와 코스돔세나 되니 다당 인지 풍보데 초래세야당 되니 나란조 그 되니 다르 등 예르 냠도세 다그르 바당 잉그르 바니 냠도세 대더니 르바데 춘이일세 되니 나랑조 그 풍보데 장인데 랑당 인세나 다 송자 되게 넘버 10바데 풍보 뱀보데 풍보라 세네 된데 세바 코스홈세네 된데 양다 초래를 된데 지 조어든데 지 공고사리스.
So the main parts of the practice involve the white feast and the red feast. And as already mentioned, it's really both sections are very involved with a lot of details. But then following that, then there is the guest feast, or the kind of second type of feast, another type of feast, in which there are the 3 cycles. It's referred to of the 3 cycles of blending. So combining your own awareness with the awareness of others, merging that awareness with the Dharma Dhatu. And likewise, then, sort of the empty appearance of all of the bodies or corpses of yourself and others are then incorporated into the feast.
Tene cholela, jidang chole dela yang kahe ke cho tenzo cha jebo si tene jigendo. Tene mena ye chuo sari jidang sinlap zamjing mado ba ke so da phungbo de muba senen buya rindo tene indu tene ke chuba jebo menen jego sari.
And so with these feast activities, then there's also really here, in this context, it's again a very extensive and elaborate process, but it can also be very condensed, and which becomes a kind of potent process of connecting with the blessings, in which we're really just focusing on the offering of the aggregates. So it's the ritual offering of the aggregates of oneself and others, through which there's the descent of the blessings and the feast activities.
Dunzen yiba tene ji ji rinpa la kunjong, bondong, kunjong, chushe, ngomo, hikdo tang jede, namba nga dos, bondong ya tang, kunjong ya.
And so then following this, then we have the sections of enhancement. So there are 5 sections, further sections: enhancement, clearing resentment, the chud dunya tang ngoa tang monlam de rebe yang char chi de zonga nga chikpa yena mena.
Bondong.
Godong.
Bondong ya. Bondong ya sene.
Laso.
Bondong ya kunjong wa. Xiang kunjong wa.
Dene sumpa.
Xushe.
Laso. Okay, laso.
Yeba ngomo.
So enhancement, clearing resentment, explanation of Dharma, dedication and aspiration, and then dissolution and empowerment.
Da bondong la teni bondong de la teni joyur saja chenbo ko tagum chun som nyams leyon bo teni nyams leyon de teni tawa de to teni te yar jen ro ya ge chi do teni pawan ro ba tengin zeng ge go ne teni gar dang nin chu jambas teni si go sa re.
So with enhancement, then primarily one is focusing on the essence of the practice of chud through the view, meditation, and contact, and really enhancing one's realization of the view until it becomes the heroic or warrior-like meditative absorption. And this is also supported by traveling to haunted places, practicing there, focusing on Mahamudra, and generating this enhancement through the heroic meditative absorption.
Lama ke nama mena rodu yang parche yongya tenze ge yang yonggu yosare tenze yendu rani ke tsudang tumba tone masona yang tenze ji kale yonggu yosare tenze yendu lama ke menga dang tone teni lamen nawa tomnen ro ya tenze ji go sare mato rangar ki sona yang tenze yang kale je yosare samsando.
So Especially when involving this instruction for traveling to haunted places such as charnel grounds and so forth, or frightening places, it's so important to be very rooted in confidence regarding the connection with the blessings of the Lama and his pith instructions. So that you're really able to connect with the realization of the Lama and be held within that sphere of protection. If instead one, travels without real confidence in this to such, haunted places, frightening places, then there's potential for great obstacles to arise.
오다 던제 감니 남도 당 양 던제 담아다 중화 예나 되니 셈나 동반이 남과 던 자와레스 제 마제 상제 지정 제요 말이 르나 짐바 땅 차바yen스 다다다 차바
제 양철 송공다 남카
되니 양 남도 당 양지 제그 동완자고 다 던전자고 지 남도 그 동화 던제 중화 예나 되니 셈바데나 나랑 셈데나 제 마제 상제 지정 동반 말레스 심는 남과당 자와레스 동이 남과당 자와인도 다 제마제 산지지징스가 말레스 르 짐바당 심바예 르 짐바당다 나런 수가 현차 세사데 심당 르니로와 심나 동이린도와 에네 르네 짐바당 차와인도 다 적바당 현바세사 그 도르자명미 세나 되게 동라 삼네 다네 동이 그 양수 절고 호사레스
and so if in this process there's a lot of frightening concepts that arise, or it feels as though one is, experiencing visions of demons and so forth, then to rely on the recognition of the empty nature of awareness and to remind oneself that there's no true existence whatsoever to demons and spirits, that not even the Buddha, can apprehend even an atom's worth of true existence to these appearances or to the all appearing phenomena. And the mind is like space. And so it is our body that elicits the strongest sense of attachment. All of we have such great attachment to the body. And so in releasing that attachment through offering the body, relinquishing the body within the recognition of the empty nature of our own awareness, then we can overcome this mind of fixation and attachment. And so it is in this way that we focus primarily on the empty nature of all phenomena, the empty essence of the mind itself, and offering the body with the mind of great compassion.
니방 공중와라 라니 깨지 라 Chenrezig 론돌 사이에 발라고 되니 란제당 저조고 심진 탐지 그 Chenrezig 들 사당 꼴와시 되니 Chenrezig 토가네 고잔 추용을 포담지 Chenrezig당 모탐지 지준 좀 말로 조종 삼바시네 되니 많은 다향 되니 다른 양 되니 용마 주니기 양하는 하고 노스
And so then there is this section that is called clearing resentment. So here you are generating yourself in the form of Avalokiteshvara, four-armed Avalokiteshvara, Chenrezig. And from your heart center, light rays stream out and strike all sentient beings of the three realms, transforming them into all of the males into Chenrezig and all of the females into Tara. And then you rest within the true nature of reality, the recognition or realization of the true nature of reality.
Tene sumba chuhi ba chuhi la tene ranglu shorji hyane ranglu bo de shorji hyane rodu nyang de sanji jumdin de tene yanla thamche tene nyentu te la sokba ke kor ne tene sanjog jun yang le japtin je ne tene nozi thamje zor seba thamje le chushye yu samak mukpa jingdo da ti mukpa de jewang kunga renching ke tene ke sai tene ji ke juban rong rang ke juba mukse ke chibar jingdo tene o tene ji se ne tene o chuna
Di
thamje
tesa ko masong rangi lu ning la de
rang ke
shakya
lu
tu
de
bayam rangi lu de.
rang ke lubo de shorji hyang ro de tene nyang yor ba nyang de nyang de sanje le gom go do nyang de
So, but rang lu gande de shek ne sena pena tenda de gare de lu
rang lu shorji hyang ne
de sena.
rang lu khang ba shi ba na yin tor so
Okay.
hyang so
Yeah. That's
hyang
what
ro
Kangpa
de
Shikpa
tene
Nang.
nyang de sanje dang tene ngarang su ge yan la de la so ba tam ji nyen tu rang ja de la so ba lo gom tene sanjo ge yun hyang le jap de ne tene chu song yo ba da ba sin do ne tene chu he se go ndo se
Absolutely. So then, with this explanation of Dharma, the visualization that accompanies this and this particular cycle of teachings is that you visualize your body collapses, like it explodes and collapses. And so then your heart arises as the Buddha Shakyamuni, and all of your scattered limbs and the parts of your body become the retinue of the Buddha, the Shravakas or Arhats and Pratyekya Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And so then in this kind of vision of your body having become the Buddha with the retinue of the exalted Sangha, then you are explaining the Dharma or proclaiming the Dharma. And so this is a visualization, a meditation that comes from Yawa Kunga Rinchen, which is a unique and special visualization or practice.
ye ba ngomong rin do tene ngomong de la da dang khonde du som de se sa yu be ge wa dang cheber de lu jin ba se be ge wa za wa de la tene tene dan jin nyam da chu ne ji mi yom chi mi dong sim chin tham je je do wo sa do ngong je jar wa tham je je ngo wa mo lam ka re ze ba yin de ngo nga ge yang ngomong de je ge yin sam ba ko do.
And then just in brief, so we have then the next section of dedication and aspiration. And so here we are dedicating in such a way that we're gathering all of the accumulated virtues throughout samsara and nirvana of ourselves and all sentient beings, and especially this virtue of offering the body, giving away the body, practicing generosity with the body. And by the power of all of this amassed virtue, may the mind of self-grasping for all sentient beings be fully eliminated or overcome. And so just in the same way that all of the victorious ones of the past have practiced aspiration, prayers, and dedication, we too aspire to follow in their footsteps and do just as they have done.
Tene nga ba duram ta wan len ten re den do tene te la kya byur tam chi ye gor ne kane meram ni hyun ro du majik la tham ro majik ko chung ka wa cham chi u bar wa u cho de wa chung ka wa chi rani ge chawong ne mar sho ne tene nyang pe man dab ji ji cher do ji jong ge hyog du sam ba si ne tene rang ge nyang de kha som ro du tene ma ju nyung ma sa ja chi me ta gong chung go dos.
So then the fifth category here then is the dissolution and empowerment. So the way we visualize the dissolution here is all objects of refuge finally dissolve into light, swirling clockwise from the bottom up and merge into the center, Machik Labdran, who then becomes smaller and smaller until she's the size of like a small sphere. And then she dissolves into you through your crown and comes down to reside at your heart level, where she then becomes seated in the full lotus position on lotus, sun, and moon seats.
Oh, that take 주소 당 루징근 직 곰람 된 dordu 휴트 받은 데지 yes.
Gongta de temnem dang wang shuyerwa tene wang sungyepe gain tene temnem la yen yen yang wang ko ma song wang.
term says uta wanlin that the mahena jusari wanlin la jidang ta majing labji drama pene hyal ma hyanne konsom sunjane ko hya chongla kondo teni dorjin kanrum bomji korne teni ringang kanrum bomji teni korde yak teni wang nang song samba teni do te tanta di tiek nalo le hiemando te shume.
That's all. So there's also here empowerment, of which there is an explanation that actually isn't included here in this text. But there's then further a visualization that involves, Machik Labdran surrounded by a retinue of hundreds of thousands of dakinis, and then they confer upon you the four empowerments.
다 제바 던데지 휴트롬네 양 욕도인데 다 욕도인데 다 줄을 삼로 동는 던데지 고그레이스네 양지 직퇴진도.
And so then there is also the conclusion of, sort of how to approach the practice all together.
전에 다들 찍고 잠기 휴바 예나 문로라더니 코르발레 님종지 마다바 냥라저 렘제란 잭츠 롱미지 로하 통화더니 추제 강더 추면바 삽준면바 더니 라마가 가송 드롭토바 년사저 추라 두츠바 더니 진상이 간제지 예나 특바
So primarily when approaching the practice, again, what is most important is to be firmly rooted in the contemplation of the preliminaries. So having a very deep sense of renunciation and disenchantment with the essencelessness of samsara, feeling a sense of really deep conviction in the truth of impermanence, and really taking to heart the truth of karma, cause and effect, and knowing that the best thing that one can do is to completely commit oneself to the actualization of the Dharma, to practicing the Dharma and bringing about the final fruition. And so retreating into solitude, keeping in mind the Lama's pith instructions, and being courageous to take on whatever it is that arises, whatever positive or negative conditions, feeling resolute about taking them onto the path.
that data 간사지 그 토마를 점로당 심지 되니 집중 초사과 라마 남절 대라소과 담지 제단 로고 그래서 지용 제단 제단그 알아서 그 문로 범규 신한자 봉아 신한자 다 된소배 개침 모인사리 오 된조 송심받던 지 간사지 고 그래서
And so to be one who engages in these practices really needs to be a qualified disciple, an individual who's really endowed with the sincere Dharma qualities, who has really incorporated into their being, the foundation of these preliminaries, generating a deep mind of refuge and bodhicitta, relying on the guru through the practice of guru yoga. And it's very important to have completed the Ngondro practices, the preliminary practices, not just the common preliminaries, but the uncommon preliminaries, completing all of the recitations. So whether it's some do 400,000 accumulations, some do 500,000 accumulations, but it's important to complete all of those.
다때 ngolo 손에 되네 무게 염동 ng어줘 봐. 되게 양수 줘봐. 지냠 중어서 되네 희주 간지당 자주 만지 히라세마 그주 찬지 때라서 봐. 주주 돌교 람도 동말 주주 돌교 지더니 냠리 람도 동말던데 지 말이스.
야 포코마송 공다.
주그 단다 공근 문로 된저 공도 손에 되네 무게 염동 ng어줘 봐. 염주동 히럽지 바로 됐으면 봐 ng어줘 봐. 되게 양수 줘봐. 동니그 양수 줘봐. 되니 되게 지소 다 또바지네 지냠 중와. 지냠 중와 사도 또바지네 냠도 먼토니 중야가 치도. 되니 간지 다들 시주 작주람도 간지 만지 찬지 데라 소바가 되니 주주 돌교 람도 동거리스.
나소나. So then having completed the preliminaries, and then being introduced to the meaning of the Great Mother, the transcendent perfection of wisdom, and having direct understanding or realization of emptiness, then liberating or distinguishing the phenomena, being able to liberate all phenomena into the realm of basic space, then the practice of chud becomes essentially a practice of stabilizing the view or sustaining this recognition. So that is what we're doing through these different sections of the practice, the white feast and the red feast and so on.
Tene jangung kunro mo cheke te songdo. Lubjin dang chole ni dena tene ngunji ka dangma je yang nguye tongni toya tenso sordo to pa tende ji ris.
So yangchar lubjin dang sogle.
Chole ni de ngunji ngusom orba. Ngung dang ji ngun ro dang nguye dang ji som yorba. Te nalo ne chole dang lubjin ti ni na tene ngun ro dang ji te ni pe jebo ji dangma jebo ji tin yu yoris. Nguye tongni de ngone ta hyazong go choro to go yoris so te res. Dada chungin ju tamje ju sengin ju ndengin tamje ga zawa nguye tongni toya de par ya ne tene ngun ro de dang tene ji ge chole tinzol pe ma se ba tenden tongnang si de do song.
So Jamgon Control says that, of these sections of offering the body and the feast, the ritual offering of the feast, there are all of these different categories in the main part, like the 8 different categories. But there's the general outline of the preliminaries, the main practice, and the conclusion. And what he says is even more important to focus on in the practice are these preliminaries and the conclusion. That, yes, of course, in the main practice, one has to sustain the recognition of the view, but that one should give extra time and special attention to the preliminaries or the introduction, the preliminaries, and the conclusion.
Ta te yang yumdong ngo zhe de nor du de hyuba yena semzein dang ngobju ni le to thomar semzein de la dangwa nyoma dangwa ga tokwa de gangder nyoma simji nyoma dangsu jogo res sim namdo dong dangsu jugar se ba la thomar de ni luka namnang chu den de go res so.
So then when it comes to the introduction of the meaning, the inner meaning being the meaning of the Great Mother, the transcendent perfection of wisdom, between the instructions for apprehending the mind and the introduction. So first, one must allow the turbulence of conceptual thought to settle. And one does so keeping the body in the sevenfold posture of Vairochana.
Lu nam nang chu den dang tani long rang so le yogo song long rang so le ya ne tani sim je tu som je ju ba je ne hi ba so ma de ga rang ge to la he de ya song.
So with the body and the 7-point posture of Vairochana, with your the speech naturally settled or not engaging in speech, and with the breath just in its natural state of breathing, then cutting off the elaborations or not engaging with the mind of discursiveness, the mental proliferation that is concerned with the 3 times, allow the mind to naturally settle and rest within this state of the ever fresh awareness, the mind that is completely fresh.
Tani te ge namdo de sim de ne ma to ba yin na tani ngarang kun doin do yom che mo tani yom che mo ko ngobo serje dorje jidang yom che mo gang yimba gang she la namba serje dorje nenju tsam chung chung chi ngarang kun doin do yo samba se ne tel sim de ne go ndo so.
And if you're not able to remain in that state of freshness without distraction, then the instruction is to focus your mind on a tiny golden vajra the size of a barley grain in the space in front of you. And so this tiny golden vajra you can think is the essence of the Great Mother, Prajnaparamita.
다 되게 양 심내 마톱나 혁야 도바 꾼 송강와 제일 심진고 그래서.
And if that is not helpful, if your mind is still not able to focus, then instead you can focus on the form of Buddha Shakyamuni in the space in front, just about an inch high, a small visualized image of the Buddha Shakyamuni.
되게 내 마톱나 랑가 라마당 마저 예메바 제가 페이가 자정 보조네 되네 콩고 꿀리데 토다바 되네 가랑 그 리보트 되네 지 파스르 포송 삼바세네 심테고.
And so then if that also doesn't help, then you can visualize an image of Machik Labdran, who is your guru, root guru in essence, and visualize that through reciting the syllable pate, then light rays stream forth and touch your heart. Okay.
사소해. 오야 근데 지금 다 세용도 되니 텔라 심이 나도 내니 야 용도 텔레 승고 송와이나 되니 때 주네 주미지 something 주라 지야를 삼모다 되니 양카 나응도로네 sim nengi junki ke nenju ko ngo le te oda tende ji gori sondo.
So then just mainly focusing on allowing the mind to rest in this fresh awareness, free of mental activity, and just sustaining that awareness, keeping your attention on awareness itself. As the mind is turned inward or looking inward, then you can examine the difference between the resting mind, that which is that stillness, and the movement of mental arisings, recognizing that they are both, there's nothing to be grasped, there's nothing to be seen in both of these essences, in the essence of both.
Ngo tele te yondu kan yang mantong shang, che yang ma yin ba, tong sar yurmi do lage wa nguzong tamche dang zari yang, rang nang namdo gun jowa dang, te rinkin ngobo songa tamade bar, nguzong me ba che yang char do ba. Sar dong nyung wa manga ba, maksam yurmi, zhuzhar namke, senjin te hirab ju paror de simba. Yin song.
So in this, there's only a vivid objectless state of lucid emptiness in which there is no thing at all to be seen. It's free from all identifiable characteristics, where the three of the appearances that naturally arise, the movement of conceptual thought, and the essence of the one who is cognizing, or the essence of awareness itself, are inseparable. So even though there is nothing to recognize or identify as a thing, anything and everything can manifest within it. So this is the unceasing experience of lucidity and emptiness, which is ineffable. It is beyond description. It is beyond thought. It is inconceivable. It is beyond expression. And it is free from all elaboration. And it possesses no definable characteristics other than being like the essence of space. And so this is the recognition that is termed the transcendent perfection of wisdom, or prajnaparamita. And it is the enlightened intent of all the Buddhas of the three times.
Te dusum je gerwa gomba yinbe, ta do tengen zeng tele ne ma yu par si gogore song.
And so, since it is the enlightened intention of all the Buddhas of the three times, one should remain within this recognition itself, unshaken, and sustain the meditative absorption on this alone.
Niba duge yang su juba la, teni zog so ngubo la tene, ngunang tokje je dui. Tele teni zogja so se ngubo la tene, namdo torji sharwa te tongba yensi. Tele hinzen ji yongwa na dui reyesi.
So that the ngapchunga ni malok ne teni ngapchunga sum la lokyo bela.
Ngapchunga ni nani marchi jizenda.
Ali? Okay.
Niba hyode niba dugi yangsu jeba la zog so se ngubo la tense tamche ngunang tokje ke du yens. Tela zogja so je ngubo la tene namdo thorji hyawate tongba yens. Tela hinzen chadang jina du yin. Ti wang do hyorsongwa yena parchi reis. Chadang panglang towa jina tani kechek le pei se tani sardong zinjar yangsu chamji thorwante tokje ke du juba yens.
So then secondly, regarding the the severing of the 4 maras that were discussed before into basic space. So as all things depend on the external objects of manifest form, so these things, which are like the manifest physical objects that appear as substantial objects, are the mara of the tangible or the animate mara. There was another term we used, I can't remember what it was, but we can say the tangible mara. And so then the sudden arising of conceptual thoughts based on such external objects as form and sound, and the attachment or grasping and aversion that arises toward them, or then this mind of attachment and aversion, the inner mental arisings, are the intangible mara. But if we fall under the power, first of all, of these, whether tangible or intangible maras, then it can become an obstacle. So when thoughts of attachment or aversion arise, acceptance and rejection arise, then one should dispel them through uttering the syllable pe.
Te yin nang ka sim je de do so ye ge yor de ni nyung chor tham je thomi je de yin se tene te yang chen ba de tene lung wa yin se te la re do yin zen de so na yin nang thomi je de yin se ti wang de kyor so wa yin na par de chu par is par je ris te na kan her tham je ngar yin tene pe ka 양수 제르바나 도미지 도 주바 예소.
So then by entering into the luminosity, emptiness, indivisible, free from grasping, which is the basic space of phenomena, then this tangible demon or mara is severed. Similarly, all of the mental experiences, such as the internal states of happiness and suffering, attachment and aversion, these are the intangible mara, or the intangible demons. And they are also what disrupts the agitation that disrupts the continuity of mindfulness. So if we fall into states of expectation and doubt, fear, attachment, and aversion, then these intangible demons can create obstacles. So to avoid falling under their power, which becomes an obstacle, then recognizing the empty nature of anything whatsoever that arises, we cut through that intangible demon again through the recitation of Peit, and thereby liberate them into basic space.
Te yendo chujui dang gebjor nyendra longju so tunji sopa tela tene gabju longwair. Tela zanzen jewa namyang gabju gu do yens. Ti wang do hyor songwa yena parda chuba yens. Tenzo hyarma thado tene pei sena tongni ji yangsu je go res.
And then likewise, when we become sort of overly or a bit attached or invested in the favorable conditions that may be arising regarding Dharma, spiritual practice, the development of qualities, fame, and any sort of auspicious developments or qualities from our practice, then there is the demon of pleasure or delighting in accomplishments, which is the third of the maras, or these 4 maras. And so if we fall under their power, this demon of delighting in accomplishments, then again, it can become an obstacle. It can interfere greatly with the practice. And so as soon as those concepts arise, we should liberate them into space with the recitation of Pe.
대인 독초 강지 님시제 늘롱와인 대란 현정지나 등미 님시 더 대왕도 효나 바드 주바인스 대니 대혈마타도 페이지 촐리 양수지 고그리스.
And similarly, whatever collections of thoughts that may arise, that are connected with this mind of delighting in accomplishments in which the ego is reified and there is some sense of pride or a self who is accomplishing something, then this is referred to as the demon of inflation, or the Mara of inflation or pride. And if there is attachment or grasping that arises with respect to this, then it can become a great obstacle. And so again, it should be liberated instantaneously in the same way with the utterance of Peit and cutting through directly, liberating these concepts into basic space.
란진 직자의 힘시 제 도바 샤체 직자의 당부 강내송 저 강게지 직자가 ngō 간데도 다용도 토마를 여바가 주동 바르도 네베 진동 다른 직자가 ngō 잡아 동이 해대와 만데 도바체 마음바 도바 말랑 다들 도바 참온다나 되선 두미지 시바께지마 희사와 대강도 주미 룩바레 장배 남도 류제지 란데 야네 오다 야그리스.
And so when all of these concepts that are the different expressions of the four Maras manifest, and whatever form, so these thoughts or concepts or fear towards gods and demons, when they arise, then one can also examine so that you can become convinced about their empty nature, thinking, where did this fear come from? What produced it? By really examine the nature of that fear, identifying, if it has an initial cause and what is the nature of that cause, until you really become convinced or clear about its empty nature. And it's all of the supporting conditions that are fueling it also becoming convinced of their empty nature, until finally you find that the nature of that fear itself is devoid of any essence. And so then by penetrating that empty essence of the fear, it just becomes a very stark, vivid recognition of awareness, in which all thoughts of the past have ceased, all thoughts concerning the future, or all past thoughts have ceased, all future thoughts have not yet arisen, and one just remains in a vivid, clear, completely undistracted state of present moment awareness.
오 란데 야르네 된담 루저 시 징오보 니 짐벌 샤베 데코나니 모토 도저 오보 동월 조샹 대유무수 뒤당 줄람군도 마양 먹omba 전즈당 denye 냠스 렘바 가르쳐와 예인소
Deka pardo, de shodang na chu
nga nalo nga go dene dendam loder hyogum
Jugla.
gola
Jugla.
ngapchu nga ke gola hyogum marpote dendam loder
La soteni kapar pardo.
dendam loder hi jingwo ni jimber sharwe 대 권한이 뭐또 또저증 오번 동화를 조르상 대의 무서 뒤당 줄람군도 마양 먹음바 zhenzi dang din yendo lemba kar chewa yin.
That's so by sustaining this recognition of the natural state in a unfabricated and relaxed manner, then all of these discursive thoughts and mentally fabricated concepts of gods and demons will vanish on their own. And the naked essence of the ultimate awareness, which is beyond the conceptual mind, will arise.
Yunzi ji dokpa di wangdo ma hyorwar gomla po thongna sarche longche zhengzhuwa yins.
So, and perceiving this true nature of reality, which is non-conceptual and free from all mental elaborations, it is vital to maintain this experience throughout all times and activities, practicing within a state of non-distraction and non-meditation while remaining vigilant in awareness.
Dina danzhen jin zimba kere wanda nyimzi ji du yinbe zhenbu so ma nyam. Shirek rangzak ma hyorwar kanher tamche la pei ji dongni ji yangsu jerwe danzhen dang namdo ki nyemta temi du ju thomna jurab nyanyer wa serwe porda simba yins.
And so as one advances in the meditation, without falling under the power of these inflated thoughts, the signs of accomplishment and the degree of sustaining awareness will be sufficient. So if there arises suddenly this kind of rigid or narrow mind of self-grasping, this demon of inflation, one should be resolute in not allowing this mindfulness of the natural state to falter without losing the stability of your awareness. Again, whatever it is that arises, liberate it by recognizing its empty essence, liberate it into basic space with the syllable pe. And sever the ties of self-fixation and conceptual inflation. If you are able to do this, then you really become a supreme practitioner of chud.
Tetawu tagomla po thumba jiso choba jije sawa hiju kanji dang chakju manji hira sema chanji la so de deda chuje ge ju de chawaris.
Ni thesa go thom song kong ta.
Tanda de ge bo tana manro ga hyodi ngabju ngaro na lo le chi ge na.
That's all.
Tani tetawu tagomla po thumba jiso choba jijuk sawa hiju kanji chakju manji hira sema chanji la so de deda chuje ge ju de chawaris.
That's all. So these essentially are the instructions, and to enhance this practice of enhancing the view and meditation are also supported by the subsequent activities of conduct through the practice of the white feast of peaceful, or which is also referred to as the peaceful severance or the peaceful chud. And the red feast, which is also referred to as the wrathful severance, the wrathful chud. Dini di tacha kapar partu loyin?
Jumi de chawaris. Ta san nyingye tang yinre sewa permar gomba na jumi ji ju. Yumdung ko na lan joba na shin de jumi. Te songa nyamso langbe tel sunga nyamso langbar sena ngokang cha changwar yugri sondo.
So there's also the variegated feast or the multicolored feast, which is the half peaceful and half wrathful, which are known as the elaborate severance. So alternating with the meditation on emptiness and cultivating at times, focusing on the cultivation of love and compassion, merging it with the recognition of basic space and awareness. This is the unelaborated severance, which is resting solely within the meaning of the Great Mother. And so, that's all.
Oda longse la landre ke tonang dang malam chanang yenang la soba yongris. Tende te tento de chugori de kaze machu wa yena. Tikapso lim maju nga mana seman chargo jesong yang ti wang do madang wa peji yang su jirwa te ne ga chimbori so.
The ola revela. Ola kapar.
Abju nga ro jod.
Oh, chola. Okay.
Longse landre. Longse jang landre do tenima.
And so if you practice all three, then the path will be complete from beginning to end. And then regarding, the arousing of spirits, likewise, if you become attached to visions of the beings that appear, of gods and demons, or the dreams, it can be frightening dreams or whatever types of dreams, then you will also fail to notice the subtle arisings in the mind through becoming attached to these coarse perceptions. So again, those should be liberated into basic space through the recitation of the syllable pe.
Teyang dosom so ngendo yang su ju gubar goyang zando la zanzeng jin dube changsong wa yena teni la doi de baba na hindu mangbo reis tende yimba yendu mugu nyingji jiram zenje zoram sojang teni peji yang su jana ge yor gong de bar yang chogu ngudo la jenye rog reis.
So when also there are these provocations, sort of the secret provocations that can arise in the mind and lead to many instances where then there is a dulling of the awareness and one is not able to perceive these and therefore cut through, then it is important to hold your seat, maintaining awareness in haunted places to intensify kind of the vigilance of awareness. And it's vital to keep the body unmoving, the speech remains silent, and you do not let the mind be swayed by whatever thoughts that occur, but rather practice again and again, liberating them into the essence of basic space through continual recitation of the syllable pe. And understanding whatever thoughts, whatever negative thoughts, whatever subtle wavering of the three poisons must be liberated into basic space. Also then relying on the mind of devotion, compassion, the generation stage with characteristics, and the completion stage throughout this, also liberating into basic space with the syllable pe. And so your practice will flourish and you will draw ever closer to the Supreme City. So in brief, the fundamental root of chud, or severance, is to be free of hope and fear.
Saka Landrelan Teleto Matande Mamboyo Bari, Junda Chulona, Jemala Rebak, Naga Chulonda, Danzing Zene Jed, Chuje Long La Gorne, Dugi Katjang the Jumba, Chulo Yen, Sumbata Deta Waji Chadendo, Oris.
So while there are other traditions that direct the ritual activity and the power of fierce force outward to perform actions, liberating external enemies and demons, this system of chud is just accords with the words of Jetsun Milarepa, who said, "My tradition is one that tears out the root of ego clinging. It tosses the 8 worldly concerns to the wind and puts the 4 maras, it completely liberates the 4 maras. And this way, all things are the play of illusion."
The Tether Tamji Jumandawu Namrula Zarjang, Lengin Chunang Jotang, Lengin Chunang Jolisoma, Nuza, Ne Sodang. Nuzi Landry so Nika, Sandang Ningi Sanju, Jisimgom. Rang Jinzing Dang Danzing Zavani Jete, Luson Pami Landry Zin the Jor. Tether Denam Hiju Sanju seems to Jurvatani. Molam Telas was Yanta one si Gogori.
And so, as all things are the display of illusion, then cultivating again and again the mind of loving kindness, compassion, the mind of awakening, both regarding the outer container of all of the environment and all the sentient beings therein, those who are afflicted by suffering from illness and the like caused by negative karma and deluded appearances, all of the afflictors of suffering and those who are afflicted, all of the gods and demons, completely severing the root of self-cherishing and ego grasping at the root. Then you must earnestly, likewise, at the conclusion, make aspirations and dedications.
Jizum Mulare Pake, Lami, Jamie, Tawad Yumi, Zimi, Gombane, Lami, Tormi, Juvene, Remi, Tomi, Jevune, Sumbatar, Yeza Juzi Tamji, Chuni Nyambani, Londo Darwayena, Nang Yimzi, Don Savane, Chu, Den Tarto, Donji Chuse, Undun Jurvayen, Song.
So as Milarepa has said, confidence in the view it transcends the existence of gods and demons. The key of meditation is being undistracted and free from grasping. The key of conduct is being without accepting or rejecting. And the key of the fruition is being free of hope and fear. So in this way, when all things to be severed in the act of severing itself are integrated within the vast expanse of the equality of all phenomena, the internal demon of arrogance is uprooted and the ultimate realization becomes fully manifest.
All that they get you, the Mari Husimat.
And so this completes Lama Yeshe's explanation on the practice of chud.
Labar the talent, train showa shuyande, that you can win a menga. Dele Lazo Juba member, Tendichi Menga Zachimbochi. When I send an Aranga Zawani Mahiba Jig, Chinamala Hugon Huyak, Bobatang, Toptang, then the Zawani Yomari, the Yana Yang, Rangazawa Lama, Garchen Rinpoche, Lamjin Rinpoche, Konamba, nga ga nyamdo yu konamba ga sungu yu samba ga thoni chinamba loho chimbo ji ga thoni marjit tende ji lo ya wa yins.
And so really this concluding section on the practice of chud, it really contains the heart essence or the meaning, the real inner meaning of the practice of chud. And he feels that there aren't any like instructions that can superior to those that are contained here, that they really get to the essential meaning, the essential point. And so even though he himself feels that he has no insight or realization to offer, that he really doesn't know very much or have anything to share, he has taught, from these scriptures, really keeping his root gurus, Garchen Rinpoche, His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche and Gyalpo, Lamchen Gyalpo Rinpoche at his crown, and connecting with them, really feeling that they are the ones who are giving this teaching.
Tandana chu ga nanglo ni mambo ji heba yena yang Dwanda nodo namjun Garchen Rinpoche ke Yeshe Lama la song de ya ke samdang nyingje sangyo ke sem ta zo de rindo wa o tenzhen yindu joban Jigten Sumgon go tene muchu ju ro la chu ne ji de somba na gi semba zambos
Jigten Sumgon gare
Jigten Sumgon gare Jigten Sumgon ge muchu ju ro la chu ne ji de muchu ju ro de la chu ke ne re is ma zangbo sa ya da chu ju ya ke ne nga re is tenzhen yindu ma zangbo ji zo ya tene semba zangbo zo ya de pe ke chimbo yin sa re is.
And so there's so much, contained within these very rich and elaborated teachings on the practice of chud. But what it really all comes down to is what His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche is always saying to us, always encouraging us to read the 37 Bodhisattva practices and the pith instructions that are contained there that are mainly concerned with developing a good heart, cultivating the beautiful qualities of love and compassion. This is what is most important in our Dharma practice. So just as Lord Jigten Sumgon says, the 6 dharmas, like mundane dharmas of human beings, are really the essence of the divine or exalted dharma, meaning that what it really comes down to is becoming a good person, really cultivating the heart and purifying the mind.
Oh, tenzhen yindu da ju de ge xiagpa ji yori de nang lo la tene zaba lama de da gundu tamchi gen yongwa ge ye ri is nga zo de da wo xi ge yo ma re o tenzhen yindu tene de la o zab go go de zong de xiagpa nang lo yo re o de yindu tene zaba lama la nga zo de ban da wo yo ge khor se ge yo re lama la ye na yang chi ro pen sun par do tene ma je ge de nang lo na Chöd 탐지에 되는 빠원 컨트롤이스 빠원 컨트롤 인바 마히네 텔레더니 대바 당당 연구요 말이 대양 저거 말이 정도 근데인도 알아서다 benangada wajina yang 단데 지소 나게 추저서 그 고려 나로다 무슨데 나로를 송대바 인도 냠냠다고 시온도 되니 제조 펜션 바도 대바 당당 무지 조데 가서 그다 닌카 치휴 지 된데리도 된데인도 제조 펜션 바도 직핀 직조서야 tenso pe kechi mo pe na dalinga ngazo kachu Chenrezig kamni pazu jigil oda tikamni chido chapare lama jigendo ne kachu shu tenje yindu tangone kachi so ke pam phama punja lejang za chimbo yimba Chenrezig re madoba ke yang de le tene ko ke keja hidang dang ma so namjor den dang ma so sumanda wo jisen nima terang ne zon de ngo ma hi ta wo cha de na tene ngone chu nyamli se ba ko chogo yo maris.
Kung tabe ya po sung yena de tesa nga manoria ki chidu tesa dor dupa deni te
ya wo tene ko Tenerewa lama la dada di juga nalo la zawo lama de silap yuyak nenga yongsa de zawo lama re deles soran de jutu kechimbo re deba tanang yongo yomare tende yendu mazu tende jaga mare deba tanang go res. Te yendo chejo tamche da dorji pung chejo namba da pawon kanro res. Pawon kanro yimba mahi ne tele tene deba tanang masi ne tene chejo la ngarang tan jamara yungu dowa te nang yin da nga yang keso ndigan koryo la mambo chi nre dewa yindu tene chejo pensuin tanang mazi yode nganzo ka nyinga chehu chik te ri dendo te yin chejo pensuin tanang zi yode ke chimbo yinba re te yin do dalin da lamo Garchen Rinpoche gando ni kachu tene mambo top nganzo nyam dan zom deba tenzo pe jingor je gan nang lo sui songwa yindu saman chejo re tene pensuin deba tanang zi ne Terang ngo hibane sonde penso pama jig buju dabo jig cha ne teni pe na jig riga tuki sewa na yin tende jig chagwa ma do ba ke teni yang namjor ka hin jig ma song ba sam ba namjor ka hin ma jig wa jin je teni yang jig jig la jig semba la no la ndamda ya de ba tende yin na tan jig ma yi tende sewa yin na chu yu de ba ke teni go chu go yo ma res.
So really, what is most important is the regard or sort of the preciousness with which we regard the pith instructions that we receive from our root guru. And so to always guard our faith, to nurture and further develop our faith to our spiritual teacher, to always supplicate and to always do our best to maintain pure view is extraordinarily important. And likewise, when it comes to all of our Dharma brothers and sisters, this is very important that we maintain a view of goodwill and pure view, pure vision, so that we really see all of our Dharma companions as Dakas and Dakinis. And it really, he says in his own experience, this one is the one that's the most dangerous because when we forget, to see one another with that kind of pure view and respect, then it can very quickly kind of turn into a transgression of our sacred commitments with one another. And so, especially, for instance, here in this assembly, we are all engaging in contemplating and studying the Dharma together as students of Lama Garchen Rinpoche. And so we're all part of the same mandala. We've all received, pith instructions and transmissions and empowerments together. And so we can really think of ourselves as siblings who share, the same parents. And so in that way, when sometimes there are thoughts that are focusing on the faults of others, this person didn't do this right, or that wasn't good how he explained this or that, or, there's that problem with, what this person said or how they're behaving and so forth, then it can very easily snowball into a mistaken way of mode of perception that is really just in a hardened state of dualistic grasping and focusing on all of the faults and defects of others. And so this is really dangerous, and we have to be very careful to avoid falling into such habits.
Dorna da Lama Garchen Rinpoche na semjin je dongma do mebari. Dendre yendu dalin dana ben dalin yena mena chu shunken namba le yongdu dane chu shunken gogo yori lamal. Dendre chu shunken tamche le yongdu dane dana yo dengen le ga lenkin namba yin na ngarang go chugo na yin zebe jang chu lama go chu nang wo du yusai shunken yo gore. Tenru Tenzo Tamji Leon Pen, Sebe Bunayin Jang. Tene Chu Hyunkin Namba Kayang, Tene Lama Rinpoche Koranjibo Yodepa and Drago Mari, Kong Hor Yanla, Tana Kamba Zonkin, Lega Lenkin Tenzo, Kong Hor, Kong Jinkork, Tene Draw Chile Junking, Bawon Kanto Tao Chad Yuri. Te Tamji La Garden Chimbo Yen Konaba Mena, Tenrezig and Koryo the Ragamari Sambasin, Rang Pamana Yin Zwa, Tenrezig Pensun, Zentong Seya, Be Semba Zambojig Tony Zentong Seya, Pensun Samhi Seya Deya, Gachimbo Yansare. Tene Ngayang Geya Ju Tenzo, Hig Mede, Yana Yang, Lama Rinpoche, the Reji Hegoris, Gas, Gan Nang, Ganawa Deyang, Tene, Chinavala Casepin Toyu, Meshide. Ngaranlayang Pinto Chimbo Jongso, Tendu, that Tendrek Gogab Nawala Pemasebak Garden Chimbo, Yens in the Shuya Jigda. Tene, that Rinpoche Dang, Nick Dean, Jawan, the Race in the Yo Yumaka, De Yumakapso, Penna Jingaranzo, Pion Matawa Chiwayana, our Madiga Tendre Langi Sando, Lamangarjina Moshe and Dean Jawan was in the den or some, but Tendra Wojik, Song in Saga Yur, the Yanayang, Lameka, Machowa Yinu, Tendrek Chumar, La. Payork Mugakasi, Lama Rinpoche, Ding Rawojig Tony De Yavan Toma Yena, Mundek Lengi Sandos and a Tanang Pama Yena. O Nupunek Lamangarjin, Tendrejig Lengi Sandos in the Sundo Kabore. O Tendrej de Yena Yanta Rinpoche Ka Nane, Tendrejik Marton, Dan Kar Marton, Chuhi Gorsi, Kanava Tendrejiri, Gandar, then it Terankawa Zambo Johnson Samala. Then Rinpoche Zor, Select Janama Samal Toji Hyoyens.
So, in brief, we're so extraordinarily blessed to be in the presence of such a sublime guru as Lama Garchen Rinpoche, who is always and only acting for the benefit of sentient beings in all of his activities without exception. And it is such a great honor to be, his assembly, because for a Lama to give the teachings, then they also have to have those who are the recipients of those teachings. They have to have an audience. And so when there's this very precious bond between guru and students, it is like the guru is like the father, and the students are like the children, and the guru really loves his students like his only children. He has great love for all of us, like we are his children. And so, likewise, the entire mandala, which the facilities and those who run the facilities, those who engage in all of the activities that make it possible for these wonderful transmissions of the teachings to take place, are like the deities who are executing the enlightened activity of the guru. And so really developing this pure view that sees the innate purity of the entire display, and that really regarding one another and all who are involved in this virtuous activity as pure emanations of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is very important. And so Lama Yeshe says, he feels that he really doesn't have any qualities from his own side, and he had no intention to teach, but because his guru, Lama Garchen Rinpoche, instructed him to give teachings, he did his best, he did what he could, and he doesn't know if there has been any benefit for all of you, but he certainly knows that there has been benefit from his own side, that this has really been a beneficial experience for him. And so it's really been a very special and wonderful opportunity, and he's very grateful. He's very grateful, endlessly grateful to our beloved Guru, Lama Garchen Rinpoche, and also deeply grateful to all of you. So thank you so much for your patience and for your interest in receiving these profound teachings on the practice of severance, on the practice of chud.
We'll return again at 11.